So I first want to start off with Draymond Green. Draymond Green declined his option. He is now going to be an unrestricted free agent. And everyone believes that he's either going to go to the Warriors or he's going to go to the Lakers because obviously he seems to have an infatuation with LeBron James. But I have a team that nobody is talking about. I actually have two teams that nobody's talking about. And Daniel's looking at me like he's a little bit concerned right now, but I'll tell you what those two teams are. Mainly because of culture fits, but I also think he can provide a lot to these teams. I like Draymond Green with the Memphis Grizzlies is one of them. I think they need veteran leadership. They need someone with championship acumen, if you will. I think Draymond Green provides all that, especially with Ja Morant doing what he does, right? He's suspended for 25 games. Now, I know Draymond Green and Ja Morant had a little bit of a dust up on Twitter.
And Dylan Brooks.
But Dylan Brooks won't be there. But I wonder, I do think that Draymond Green with the Grizzlies makes a lot of sense. He'll be a good culture fit, a good veteran leadership.
Do you think the Marcus Smart trade has kind of taken them out of the running for him a little bit?
Could you imagine a team with Marcus Smart and Draymond Green? That would be kind of. You talk about a team with a couple of dogs
on how many brick 3-pointers there would be that day.
I lied. I said there was only two teams. There's actually two more that I want to add as well. So 3 altogether. The Clippers.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Clippers make a lot of sense. Still about a guy that can facilitate.
They need another defensive wing.
Yeah. Right.
A third one.
Right. A third one. Maybe this one could stay healthy.
Right.
But a team that nobody is also talking about right now.
I hope you don't say my team.
I hope you don't say
Philadelphia 76ers.
He's naming the whole damn league.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay, we're still safe. We're good.
I think Draymond Green to the Philadelphia 76ers makes a lot of sense as well. It looks like this James Harden won't be brought back, but we don't know. PJ Tucker's old now. I feel like Draymond Green and PJ Tucker are very similar in terms of that leadership, that veteran presence. Draymond Green can facilitate. Draymond Green can still shoot. He could still make threes on occasion. And he's just a defensive stalwart as well. And I think he can bring a little bit of attitude to the 76ers team. And I think he can sort of help, guide this new coach and Nick Nurse with this Philadelphia 76ers team. So again, I think that those are my fits for Draymond Green. I like them. Don't know how realistic they are, but they make sense to me.
So before I go into mine, I would say out of those 3 options, I think the Clippers are probably the best. When you look at their team, what do they need? They need, I'm not saying more defense, but they need somebody. I mean, you got Kawhi, you got Paul George, but they're really, who else is their power forwards? Nick Batum, is shooting 5.
I think the money starts to get tricky.
Money definitely does. But out of those 3, I'm not a huge fan of the 76ers one. I just think the Clippers fit-wise is the best. My team's the Sacramento Kings.
Yes, I'm still standing.
The Sacramento Kings, and I know you're happy about, your team. I'm curious to hear yours, but I think it's a match made in heaven, right? First off, they played in the first round of the playoffs. He had glowing things to say about the Kings, right? On his podcast said, young, scrappy team. He was surprised how fast they were, played very similar to how the Warriors played. And when you look at the fit, what do the Kings need? They need a defensive presence like a Draymond Green. And when you look at their team, Domantis Sabonis kind of does the same thing that he does, right? Play at the top of the key, work the offense. But imagine you have 2 of those guys, 2 of them, and you got a young power forward, Keegan Murray. I don't know if he's necessarily ready to start, but maybe you have Draymond take time between him. He can definitely, teach Keegan Murray something. And overall, I think he adds that grit to a guy like Malik Monk, a guy like De'Aaron Fox, and it's a contender. It's about an hour away from San Francisco, doesn't have to move far.
I knew you were going to say that, but I have a question for you.
What's up?
That sounds cute. That sounds good. But can we talk about Domantis Sabonis and how that might work?
Yeah. And that's
this would be another teammate that if he were to go there, that Draymond Green would have had assaulted.
You're right.
Draymond Green has had beef with half of the league at this point. All right, Chris Paul's coming to the Warriors supposedly, so that's still getting worked out officially. But hey, that's something that's been beefing. You said he'd been beefing with people, and Draymond's beefing with everybody, man. At this point.
Yeah, you're right. That's the one part.
So I wonder, I don't think the organization of the Kings would want him.
Yeah.
So try again.
I like it, Daniel. I like it. Let me throw something at you.
Sure. Let's see if I approve.
This is a team we've talked about in the league. So who needs defense? Who needs rebounding? Who needs maybe some additional playmaking.
The Dallas Mavericks.
Dallas Mavericks.
Wow.
You're telling me if you are keeping Kyrie around, if you're intent on doing that, you got
He's a Laker. He's a Laker,
well,
I'm afraid.
we'll talk about the Lakers, man. That's the Lakers have a tough situation. We know this. But anyways, this is about the Mavericks and Draymond Green. You need that rebounding presence. And they talked about coming into this offseason, we need more rebounding. We need more defense. Draymond gives you that. He gives you a capable three-point shooter. He is capable of hitting threes. I'll go that far.
Of walking.
Occasionally he's capable of hitting threes on his good nights. But he's not a complete cramp to the floor spacing. He'll at least be a threat to shoot the ball and keep you on your toes. Good playmaking when you do have those minutes where you want to spell Kyrie or you want to spell Luka. If Kyrie's not back, you get that wing presence, that defensive presence, but you get a guy who can play all those different spots no matter what you need for the matchup come playoff time if you are serious about that. So I think that's an interesting fit. Obviously, there'd have to be some sort of sign and trade deal with that, probably dump some salary, but and just kind of talking about your Lakers, because I know there's been talk about that.
My what?
The Lakers.
Let me explain something to you guys. I am a LeBron fan. I am a huge Boston Celtics fan. That is my team. So I know you're a Miami Heat fan. You got that whole thing going on over there with you, but I am a Boston Celtics fan. Continue.
Right. No, just going to say there's going to have to be some sign and trade elements to anything that would be coming into the Lakers. They have a lot of money connected to a lot of players, and especially if they want to potentially retain a guy like an Austin Reeves, who's going to be hitting restricted free agency. And I'm sure there will be teams that are interested in his services. So there's going to be a lot to work with there. And they don't have much in the way of assets to return to teams in terms of first round picks, in terms of just cap flexibility, and just pick swaps. That's not very valuable to a lot of teams.
So I'm going to throw a team out there that we haven't discussed at all. The Spurs. Draymond Green to the Spurs. I think the fit makes sense. He's a veteran player with championship acumen. He'd help bring that grittiness, that toughness.
Do you think he wants to play somewhere where he can win, though? I don't think he wants to play. I don't know if he thinks that the Spurs are anywhere near ready to compete just yet.
What I'm going to say, though, is they've got talent to where I think it'd be a fun challenge for him. You got Wemby. I mean, you got wing guys, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Trey Jones. Obviously not the greatest guys in the world.
Does he want to challenge or does he want to win, though?
He could be the Andre Iguodala. What Andre Iguodala was for the Warriors, he could be the Andre Iguodala for the Spurs. Now, they're not going to obviously have that three-point shooter, the greatest three-point shooter of all time, and Steph Curry with him.
Players or...
But you figure, I feel like Draymond Green is very much disrespected. I feel like he's not appreciated. I feel like he's not talked about enough about the fact that he was literally the engine to this championship run by the Warriors because he was great. He was tough. He was the guy that was facilitating the offense and allowing Steph Curry to play off the ball and allowing Steph Curry to have the type of numbers that he was having. Same thing with Klay Thompson. And I think it's a lot of disrespect, the fact that when we just talk about the Warriors dynasty being over, he's the first name that we bring up to move for the Warriors to move on from. You certainly know he must feel disrespected. Of course. I mean, if he didn't, he probably wouldn't have declined his player option, right? Because there's no telling if anybody else is going to pay Draymond Green that. But the fact of the matter is, the one place he was supposed to have the utmost value in Golden State,
right?
They showed him no respect. They basically told him he's replaceable. And I think that's an issue. And I think Draymond might want to go somewhere where he can prove that, hey, he could be the guy. And I don't mean be the guy by being a star player. I'm talking about be the guy. If he can go to another offense and be able to facilitate and be that same guy that he was for the Warriors, there's no doubt about him. There's no questions that this guy, he deserves more praise than what he gets.
I like it. And I'm sure they would throw the bag at him too.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, they had the money to spend. Who else did they spend it on? Jeremy Sohan?
Got to hit that cap floor, baby.
Right. Got to.